All year round, Craig Bell works in the shoe factory in Lancashire's Rossendale Valley. But in spring and summer he takes on another full-time job, out in the wild. He tracks down the secret places where some of Britain's rarest birds nest, bringing their young so vital information can be gathered about their lives, wherever he can, helping and protecting them. He's a dedicated birdman.
Craigie toast. How did you go on with today?
All right, yeah. Couple of nests. A kestrel, they were too small to ring, and just a meadow pipit and a couple of linnets knocking about.
Very good.
Right, we'll have to get going.
See you, Craig.
Where are you off to today?
I'm gonna go and check them peregrines. They should be ready, they were quite big the other day. So, I'll see you later on. This is the best time of year. You know, the actual May, June, July. That's when it's the time of year I look forward to of the whole year. It's hectic. It's just no time for rest. Because everything nests now, together, all at one do, and you've got to try your best. If you're going to try and do a lot of chicks, you've got to find the nest while they're there. You can't not do them. Swallows and kestrels and willow warblers and peregrines and merlins, you're running around all over the place trying to find as many as you can. Hey Simon, all right?
Morning, Craig.
Not so bad.
A bit early, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Thanks for coming in, mate.
It's all right. You got your stuff?
Yeah. The beauty of being a bird ringer is it enables me, as a bird watcher, to get the ultimate, really, and actually get to see them close up in hand. You know, actually in hand or very close, you know, near the nest site itself, which other people don't get that privilege.
Yeah. If I go from there, the rope's going to tend to...
Simon Johnson is my registered climber. I have to register Simon, just like I register myself, to visit these protected species nests. I think we've worked together for 2 or 3 seasons now. I think we work together brilliantly as a team. He enjoys climbing, he's good at handling the birds. I'm down at the bottom usually of the cliff, sometimes at the top. He passes the birds down or up in a bag. And then I can concentrate myself on ringing the chick, chicks, rather than having to swing about on a rope and being petrified myself.
You all right, Simon?
Okay, yeah. I think my favourite bird's a peregrine. They're quite big. People don't seem to realise the size of the bird. You know, there's 2 or 3 foot wingspan. It's, the female stands 18 inches high. She's a superb bird to actually watch. You don't realise, because you don't get close to them, you don't actually realise the size of the bird itself. Until you get a chance like I do, and I have the privilege of being able to go to nests and ring the chicks. You actually see the actual size and the beauty of the bird itself. Peregrines are definitely on the recovery, nationally. But there's still no increase around here, really, in population. Pigeon fanciers don't like them because they take the racing pigeons. I mean, I can't deny that they do take racing pigeons, but it's just a pity that they're just a nice size for them to catch. I don't suppose the peregrines know that they're racing pigeons. It's just a pigeon. They do take occasional grouse, but I don't think they really take as many as people think.
All right, Simon.
Ripped half my finger off.
But it shouldn't be hungry when it comes up here.
from early April when they seem to be starting pairing up to mid-July when the young are actually fledged. It's a worrying time. The Merlins are our smallest breeding falcon. They seem to be recovering slightly, or at least holding their own. It's perhaps 500 pairs in the whole of the UK, which is not a big population.
Hiya.
Hi, Craig.
All right.
Yeah, not bad.
Brought you some goodies here, little food
thanks.
for you.
But there's still a problem of people coming taking the chicks and the eggs.
All right. Been anybody up today?
Well, a couple of people. There was a chap came up with the dog, but
There's a lot of people who are prepared to put in a lot of time and effort and actually go and sit in all weathers at nests and just feel like they've got a responsibility to protect them.
I think he knew where it was,
Yeah.
but he didn't do anything suspicious.
Yeah.
He just looked and
Want to try and
stayed
keep
for.
an eye out for him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
See
Yeah.
if he returns. Looks like there's a bird coming in now.
How old do you think these kestrels will be, George?
How old? I'd say about over 2 or 3 weeks now, I should think.
They've been quite active. They've been bringing quite a bit of food in.
Oh, they're in and out quite a lot during the day.
George Grimshaw's farm, it's like a little nature reserve. I've been coming up here for 7 or 8 years now. I first met him when I was calling round to try and get sites to ring the young swallows. And I've just got to know him better and better, and he seems to be really keen on birds himself.
Yeah, just a nice size, these, Craig.
How many is there, George? Can you see in?
I think there's 4.
Is that it?
No, as I say, there's no adult eggs this year.
Right. I ring on behalf of the British Trust for Ornithology. It's where most of the actual details about birds come from. I also have a Schedule 1 permit. It's issued by English Nature. It's like the government body, which permits me to go to the nests of rare breeding falcons. When you've done, quite a few hundred birds, it can work out quite expensive. Just ringing the nest boxes what I've got in my local woodland, I might ring 200 or 300 blue-tick chicks. It totals up to £200 or £300 over the summer. And then you have various other size rings which are quite expensive as well. In fact, a lot dearer.
We're gonna have to leave these, George. They're too big, I think.
Are there, how many is there, Craig?
4.
4.
They're fully feathered now.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave them.
Oh.
I think if I disturb them, they might fly.
Ah, that's right. I'll leave them then.
Over the 12-month period, I have to find probably £500, £600, £700 in total. A swallow's a good example, really, to explain the purpose of ringing. It's to follow the actual migration, places where they stop off to actually feed. There's people all over Europe ringing to track these paths where, because it's important for management and making reserves in other areas for them to feed on the way south.
How many pair of swallows have you got this year, George?
I think there's 6 pair this year, Craig.
Better than usual.
Oh, it is, Right, it's through here.
A bit tricky to get out sometimes, eh?
Been under the sluice, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's not just here where it's important. It's the ringing in Spain and Portugal, North Africa. But they go all the way right through Africa, down to South Africa, to British ring swallows. Different areas of Europe have their swallows as they go to different parts of Africa. He just would not know that we're actually ringing and catching these birds. There's just no other way of doing it. I think it's my dad's fault, if you call it that. He took me out when I were very young, 5, 6, 7, something like that. I can remember vaguely going around building bird boxes with him and putting them up in local woodland.
I used to get this wood from work, second-hand timber that I ripped out of floors and that, taking boards up. Used to fetch it home. We used to make bird boxes in the front room.
Seems like there's some young willow warblers out there.
There's a blackcap singing there as well.
That willow warbler over there should be ready for doing as well, shouldn't it?
I think they're about a week, they'll be a week old now.
So try and get them this week sometime.
He's learnt me a lot as well with the singing and calls of particular birds, because he's been pretty hot with them since I was a kid, so it's been easy for me to pick it up.
Really proud of what he's done, because I think he let's follow in my footsteps, you know. I mean, he's absolutely, I won't say besotted, but he's definitely a bird man. Lives and breathes birds, really.
When I've been out ringing, I have a notebook where I note down what I ring and what particular ring number goes to which bird. Then I get home and I fill all my forms out, what they call a schedule, for what birds actually got that ring on. I complete that and send it to British Trust for Ornithology, and it's all logged on their computer. When people find the rings, there's a name and address on the ring, BTO process, where it's gone, where it were rung. I get a sheet describing where it was found. The person who actually sent the information to British Trust for Ornithology get a sheet back telling them all the ringing information, the age, if it were a chick, how many chicks, it were one of perhaps 5 in a nest, who's rung it, where, and you know, age, sex, if you can sex them. We've had willow warblers going to Africa. We've had a couple of kestrels back. I can remember ringing one nest, had 4 chicks. We had 2 back the same year. One had made it down to Dorset and were killed on a motorway down there somewhere. The other had made it to Morocco. I think that was on the 3rd British ring kestrel to turn up in Africa. So, yeah, that's the fascinating thing about ringing. You just don't know where that particular bird's going to turn up.
Hi,
Hiya.
Craig.
All right.
Yeah,
Craig.
fine, you?
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Good.
I've come to ring them. They should be about ready for ringing this
Oh,
morning.
brilliant.
Yeah. Have you been down and had a look? Have you seen out this morning?
Well, we had a bit of a problem last night with a guy who came and his wife. They set up a tent right underneath the nest.
Joking.
Would you believe?
We went down to see him to sort of talk him out of putting his tent right underneath the nest site, and he wasn't for having it at first, but we persuaded him to move further down and set up camp down there.
Of all the places to set a tent up, right
Yeah.
under the nest. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Right, I want to nip down and do them. Do you want
Alright
to come
then.
down and give us a lift?
Yeah,
Just
can
give us
do.
a leg up tree.
Right.
See you in a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheerio. Good
See
luck.
you in a bit.
See you a bit down.
Considering how many pairs of props, peregrines and merlins we have, the actual amount of chicks what we get off at end of year is pathetic, really. Cheers.
Two and 2 eggs, Glenn.
The chicks are good size now.
Yeah, they're just right. Perfect.
I think they need every bit of helping hand they can get, because definitely without us having watchers on nearly all nests now, and certainly next year there'll be watchers on nearly all the nests, I think they'd be more or less extinct round here, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's a pity about the other 2 not hatching.
I'll see.
I think the actual adults would turn up every year probably at certain sites and that, but the chicks would get pinched every year at every site. if we didn't watch them.
All right.
We've got probably the worst area in northern England for birds being stolen and shot. It's a big problem here in Lancashire.
Stink.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Done?
Coming on nice, haven't they?
Yeah. How much longer?
2 a week at least. It's the only trouble, it takes them a long time, the slow developers, really.
The actual finding of nests is just a personal thing, something I find easy, but other people find quite difficult. But like certain birds nest in certain habitats, like you've got to look in the right habitat to find the right nest. Meadow pipits, I think they're probably the worst nest I know to actually find. If you go anywhere near them, they can sit there for half an hour just with food in their mouth, alarm calling, and they just won't go into the nest at all. They're really, really shy bird. On a good afternoon, I can go out and perhaps find 4 or 5 different meadow pipits nests, you know, so you can be ringing up to 25 or 30 chicks, which is pretty good going. Or you can go out and spend the whole afternoon looking for one. Bit bird calling. Hooey, hooey. It's over there. Willow warblers are usually down in nettles and in thick vegetation. It's just like a dome nest built on the ground. Looks like I've missed you. You're too big. It's usually the male what gives the bird the actual nest away. The female is really protective. She'll be sat somewhere giving alarm calls, and he'll come back with a mouthful of food and go straight in without even looking and seeing you. What I try and do is pick that first call, the alarm call, try and retreat a bit and hide, and get tucked in somewhere into vegetation, and just watch, see where they start heading for. If you can't see where it's going, try and get a bit nearer. And everybody has robins in the gardens more or less all year. Even me, I used to think before I were actually ringing, used to think that they were just, the good old robin, it's here again, all year. But it's not the case. In most cases, it's not the case. A lot of our robins travel to France, Spain, Portugal through the summer. The robins what we have in our gardens can be, Russian birds, Scandinavian birds. It's a good brood, 6. Bridges and viaducts are a favourite nest site for kestrels and other species as well. Yeah, I think Simon gets a bit of a buzz out of doing the viaducts. There's something different, a bit of a challenge. How many are there, Simon?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. It's a good brood again.
I could put them all in, what do you think?
No, do them 3 at a time, then they're not fighting.
Fair enough.
I know it looks a bit gruesome sometimes, the way we put the rings on, but all we're actually doing is rounding the ring, making the butts of the ring actually come together. You don't actually clamp it onto the leg at all. The rings are specially made to be slightly bigger than the thickness of the leg. And the rings are very light, they don't feel them on when they've got them on. You're a small one, aren't you? A bit behind others. Got a bit of food up. A few pellets in Bagwheel. And a shrew. Put that shrew back in. Hiya, you alright?
Hi, Craig.
Hiya.
Okay.
How you getting on?
Well, actually, a bit worried really. We haven't seen either of the adult birds since yesterday morning.
That sounds a bit bad then. I've come up
Yeah.
actually to take a few snaps and all as well. You know, like birds. I better get down there and check they're alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah.
see you in a minute, Stu.
Yeah, bye.
See you in a bit.
Oh, thank God for that.
Oh, yeah.
When peregrines are actually out and merlins are actually out, you get a bit of a buzz, especially devoted so much of your time that particular year.
Are they all right, Craig?
Yeah, they're fine.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Good.
Great.
They're both there?
Yeah, yeah. They're lying down low on nest, I think, to get out at wind.
Right.
They're not moving a right lot,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
they're fine.
Are they grown?
Yeah, they're coming on quite well now. They're nearly fully feathered.
Did you see the female?
Yeah, she's just come in with food now, and we're
Oh.
going down to the nest.
What a relief.
And I think male's just passed food over, so it looks like they're all alright.
Good. So, after all this time,
Yeah,
are you happy, Craig?
certainly am. Certainly am.
Good.
Can't wait for next year now. Yeah, that's all I'm thinking about. Next year. I mean, this year's not over with yet. It's next year. Hoping to improve on what we've done this year, to try and get more watches on, try and make sure that more of them birds get the young birds away. I couldn't picture myself breaking my leg or something in April or May, because I don't know what to do with myself. I couldn't bear not to be actually doing what I do. It's part of my life. It probably seems strange to certain people that I do it, but it's that much of my life. Well, I just can't picture not doing it.